أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be on all of you. Alhamdulillah. Welcome again to another episode of My Journey to Islam. I'm your host Mizan, and today I have with me here Br.Abdul Hakeem. Abdullah Hakeem, how's things in the UK?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Before you became Abdul Hakeem, what was your name before?
Nickname, Sparky.
Sparky.
Sparky, because I'm an electrician. So Sparky goes with electric, so they call me Sparky as a nickname, yeah.
MashaAllah, a bit of an electrician then, alhamdulillah. So tell me a little bit about yourself and Sparky, or Abdul Rahim.
Abdul Hakeem.
Abdul Hakeem, sorry.
Right.
Okay. So how old are you and what do you do?
Okay, I'm still doing electrics, and plus I'm an event organizer for a charity organization called One Community Organization based in Debit. My main trade is, as I said, is electrical. So I do like electrical, domestic and commercial work, a bit of industrial as well. So for the most part that pays the bill, but as I said, I do a lot of voluntary work as well for charity organisations.
Inshallah. And how old are you?
36.
36,
36,
mashallah.
getting on a bit.
Mashallah, mashallah. Still looking young, mashallah. When did you accept Islam then as your new way of life?
I accepted Islam, 1999.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, it's a while ago, yeah. Over a decade ago now. Does it seem that long, but yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And before you became Muslim, what were you before?
Was a Christian.
Christian.
I mean, I wasn't really a churchgoer, but for the most part, weddings, funerals, christenings, things like that. But I would have said I was a Christian. My family's Christian and Pentecostal. Okay. I don't know if you know about the Christian methodologies, but that's the sect then, if you want to say that, Pentecostal. But I was a Christian.
And what made you question that particular faith for you to actually eventually leave that and then embrace Islam?
I think I was always a believer, even at the worst times. You know, I think it's installed in in my culture then. At that age, it's installed in you from a young age to go to church and believe in God and Jesus and this, that, and the other. So I always had that belief system. So sometimes I'll pick up the Bible and read 2 Psalms, you know what I mean, and learn about the story of Moses and the Last Testament. I always, for some reason, was more inclined to the First Testament rather than to the Last Testament. And as I said, it's just that connection with God I always had. And I started to just read more upon it and just work on that connection. You know?
So you always had this natural connection to worshipping God alone?
Yeah, I mean, it's said that everyone has a natural feature, a natural disposition.
Yeah.
So it's just whether you work on that or whether you ignore it. So, I mean, I sort of occasionally would pick up the Bible and just read, and as I said, my family are Christian, so they have their certain ways anyway. And one of the things which, as I said, I started just to investigate more and talk to God. You know, I had a few friends who were Christian. You know what I mean? So I started to sort of dialogue and try to reason with them. You know what I mean? And I had a few friends who were Muslim. But they'll talk about hellfire and this, that and the other, but I didn't really pay them much attention, you know. I just thought that, we all have a session, you know what I mean, and we're all blazing and we're talking about hellfire, and we're like, whatever, you know.
A bit of contradiction there.
You know, so
what was your view of Islam then, before you became Muslim? You know, what was your view about Islam and Muslims in general?
I thought that, when I was younger, I thought that Christianity was for us and Muslims are for Asians, and I didn't really want to have nothing to do with it, to be honest with you. I had a few Asian friends, but I just thought it was their thing, you know.
So it's so you thought it was cultural?
Yeah, I thought it was more of a culture thing rather than a religious thing. So therefore, that's why I said I'm also worked on my connection with the Creator. You know what I mean? And alhamdulillah, you know, once if you met them steps closer to Him, it will bring you closer. Definitely. You know what I mean? So you just have to find. Everyone has their own way of getting there. You know what I mean? Some may go through traveling. Some may you may give someone dawah and you may hit a spot. Yeah. Or you know, someone may be going through a bad time, and you know, pick up the Quran and Allah guides them. Allah gives the hidayah. You know what I mean? Allah has His way of guiding people. So.
Inshallah. So, what was the actual pulling factor then? You know, for you to actually finally embrace Islam. You know, what was the actual thing that made you actually, you know, say, you know what, this is the truth, and you know, I gotta be a Muslim.
I'll tell you one thing. I started reading the Bible, but I was still up to my old ways, up to no good, doing what I was doing. I went to visit the Queen in a few of her establishments, let's just say.
MashaAllah. First brother to visit the Queen.
Not personally, but yeah, you know, I mean, when I was traveling, you have people, you know, disrespecting the Bible, smoking from Genesis to Revelations, you know, the pages and that. Yeah. You know, I mean, I went really into that. But as I said, I started, you know, I had a Quran. Someone gave me a Quran and I started reading it. And I started to just gain that connection with Allah, you know what I mean? I didn't really know much about the Prophet. I didn't even know much about the companions. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really interested. I just wanted that connection. You know, sometimes one way, when when you're going through a certain situation, you can pray to God and have that talk with Him, you know what I mean? And as I said, build your relationship with Him. I think I started practicing. Well, I learned how to pray. Someone taught me how to pray because I was looking into Islam, and I asked God to guide me to the truth, whether it was Christianity, Islam, whatever it is. As long as He's happy with it, just guide me to it, you know what I mean? Because when you're on the road, when you're on the street, you know what I mean, you've been there when you've done it, you know, going out, clubbing, girls, you know what I mean? When people who ain't have it, you need to chase it, but once you know that, once you've been there and done it, you know it ain't nothing, you know what I mean, really. You know what I mean? And you want something more. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not content with what you got, and you can't be content, you know what I mean? So you'll always want more. You'll want, you know, women weren't nothing. Sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a problem. Just to say that, it wasn't an issue. Money, you know, you do what you have to do to eat. So as I said, you just want something more, something that's more fulfilling. You know what I mean? I started practicing. I started praying. I started reading Quran. I was practicing Islam for about a year before I knew about Shahada. Wow. You know what I mean? So I was praying. I was still doing whatever, you know.
Before you knew Shahada, meaning so you was practicing the religion before accepting the religion, or?
Yeah, I was praying. People would tell me about Allah. I'll read the Quran, and I still have a little bit of bad habits, but you know, things, you know, you tend to
take time
work on it, you know what I mean? But about a year after practicing, someone said, "Did you take a Shahada?" I mean, that's obviously because the lack of knowledge and what was around me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah. So after a year of practicing everything, said, "Did you take a Shahada?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "To bear witness," and then I took it in the year 2001. Inshallah. 2001. So I embraced in the year 2000, just after the millennium, and then.
Going back a little bit, you know, when you mentioned about that you always had that connection with God. Some people might say, well, in Christianity they worship one God, and in Islam we said that we worship one God. Mm-hmm. Now, what was that connection that wasn't there in Christianity that you found in Islam?
In Christianity, worshipping God, yes, definitely, no doubt. I think I wasn't comfortable in my heart with worshipping Jesus. You know what I mean? It just didn't sit right. Yeah. I mean,
because he's a human being.
Yeah, he's a human being. And plus, when you read in the Bible that the devil tempted Jesus, you know what I mean? That Jesus says, the devil said to bow down to me. and I'll give you all what you see. And Jesus said something along the lines of the heavens and the earth. You know, I can't remember quote word for word, but he didn't fall for it. You know what I mean? But the fact that what bothered me, the fact that the devil, Shaitan, then had the audacity to question and even to tempt God if Jesus was supposed to be God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the devil is created by God.
Yes.
And the world, the universe, everything is created by God. So therefore, how can a creation tempt the creator? It just didn't make sense, you know what I mean? And, you know, as I said, I read the Bible and, you know, there's certain things that sat well with me and certain things that didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit well with me was worshipping Jesus. So even as a Christian then, I'll still pray, but I'll focus on the Father rather than the Son, if that makes...
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah?
So you kind of naturally have this inclination towards,
just,
you know what?
just direct contact, just a direct contact with God, you know?
But all right, when you accepted Islam then, I mean, did you openly come out to your family and say, look, hey, I'm a Muslim, or how did that come about, and how did your family take it?
The thought that, I think the thought that it was a phase that I was going through, because I went through many different phases. So I think they thought it was a phase that was just, he'll come back after, he's just going through a little bit of a little situation, you know.
A bit of drama.
Bit of drama, you know. He's finding himself, you know. So, I think it was just a phase that they thought it was going through. But I think that once they've seen that it was having a positive effect, like I'll stop going out clubbing, I'll treat them differently, you know, I'll more be off the streets and more looking towards work, doing positive things, you know, having a bit more respect for women.
So your whole behaviour and
everything changed, and I think that because at first I thought it was a phase, and because of them being a bit ignorant to the understanding of Islam. I mean, they just believe what they see on TV, that is more or less the same thing what I was thinking before, that it's an Asian man thing, and or, you know, nowadays it's a Somali thing, or it's just, you know, it's them, they're not with us, you know. So I mean, a lot, you know, media has a lot to do with that, but that's a different subject.
But for the benefits of some of the viewers, because some people may not realise, because some people out there may still think that Islam is for a group of people from a specific country. I mean, if you'd like to just explain to some of the viewers on how universal Islam is.
Well, what do you got to do really? I would say first and foremost, and I'll say advice to myself and to anybody, is to work on that connection with the Creator, because that has no race, it has no sect, no sex. You know, you're dealing with the one who created you, who knows you better than you know yourself. You know what I mean? Who knows your secrets and who can help you when nobody else can help you. You know what I mean? So work on that connection. In regards to everything else, and you know, your beliefs and what way of life you should follow, what particular religious understanding or laws then you want to follow and live your life according to, then go into history, learn your history. When you learn your history, you realize how, as well as Christianity, how Islam spreaded. It never started off in England and then spread it to Africa, and it started off over there first and then spread slowly over here. So obviously, once you have that in mind, you're going to understand that there are people in that continent are going to be Muslim. And slowly the deen, or the religion then, will spread. You know what I mean? So therefore they're thinking, oh, Islam is an African thing, or Islam is an Asian or Arab thing. It started off in the Arabian Peninsula and spread it from there. So naturally, obviously, it's got to be the people over there, they'll be more inclined and more, how can I say, are going to be Muslim then, if that, you know, first, and then slowly bring the understanding here. So learn the history of Islam, and don't look on the people rather than look at the religion, because the people will lead you astray. Look on the religion itself, and try and understand the religion, because we have to live our life according to the religion. The religion doesn't, you know, the religion doesn't adapt to us. We adapt to it. You know, so
just
that's
for the benefits of the viewers, when you say look to the religion, I mean, because some people may think, what do you mean by look to the religion? So we mean like
look to the first and foremost the Quran, because there's no if, but, or maybe. about it. You know what I mean? It's the word of God. So that there should be the primary source of seeking knowledge, seeking understanding, seeking the reason for your existence, seeking the truth, what way you should go. First deal with the one who created you. So look into the Quran. Like I would say, I looked into the Bible because I would expect that at that time, thinking that was the word of, that's God. So first and foremost, I would look into that and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I said, I picked up the Quran and looked into that, and I realized that my heart slowly got attached to God because that's what I wanted. I wanted that connection. So when I read the Quran, my heart got attached to it because it is from God. It is the word of God. Then I would say in Islam, look towards the Quran first. Then you look towards hadiths and try to go with that which is has strong references, which is more authentic, not which is wishy-washy or not which is written by anyone and anybody. Go try and it's your life, you know what I mean? You're going to be judged, and it's what you're going to teach your wife. It's what you're going to teach your children. So make sure that what you take up and what you learn is sahih, is authentic.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So
I often describe Islam to brothers in that as Islam being a way of life, a journey for life, a journey to your Creator. Now, how would you say that the Masjid has helped you along this journey?
Well, mashallah, the Masjid here, I would say, is very neutral, very balanced. It's not extreme, it's not too loose, where it allows any and anything. You know what I mean? And it allows you to benefit, come with your ideas, and even be corrected if necessary, or even be increased. I mean, the knowledge what you're on and seeking it. Also, the scholars, definitely, the scholars that come here, mashallah. The scholars themselves are from what can you say? From the Kabar ulama, then from the major scholars. You know what I mean? And the visit here, so to benefit from that also. You know what I mean? Benefit from when they come over, and that's the brotherhood. You know what I mean? One of the ways I've noticed is observing the Sunnah is when you see different races attending a masjid. You know what I mean? Because they're coming for the haqq, they're not coming for the culture. Yeah. Usually if you go to certain masjids, you just see one particular race. And for the most part, it's a cultural thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But when you, as I said, that's one of the things I observe in this masjid here. You see Somali, you see Arab, you see Jamaican, you see English, you see Bengali, you see all different types of races, and they're coming for the haqq, because if it was other than that, then they wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. It's not a culture thing. So just be observant in what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay. What about for some viewers who may be watching? They may not necessarily be Muslims, but they're kind of like 50-50. They're thinking about Islam, they're reading about Islam, but they're not quite there yet. What kind of advice would you give to them?
What I would say, put my hand on my heart and truly say, is that this is your way of life. You know, as I said before, this is something which you got to take to your grave with you, which you got to teach your wife, teach your children, which your children will follow on after you. So what I would say is that connection. I can't stress it enough. That connection with the Creator. Those that are looking into Islam, start with the Quran. Start with the Quran and finish with the Quran. There's many people that have knowledge and learn hadith, but the Quran, as I said, would be the primary source. You know what I mean? So read the Quran. Learn about what Allah wants from you. You know what I mean? You're not here for no foolish reason. You're not here to get rich or die trying, or to have women in every postcode. You know what I mean? You're here to worship Allah. Everything else is secondary. Worship your Creator.
There's a greater purpose to life.
Yeah. You gotta know the reason for your existence. So that's one of the reasons why I said before that even though I was getting money, I was doing whatever, clubbing and whatnot, but there's no satisfaction. There was no satisfaction. That's why I keep pushing myself. Because how can there be satisfaction when you're not doing the reason why you're here for? Mm-hmm. You're not living. You're not doing right by yourself. you'd be doing an injustice to yourself because you've been here to create Allah, but you're doing other than that. So find a reason for your existence, find a reason why you're here in this life, in this world, and make that connection with the Creator. Straight up.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, I think we'll have to wrap up now because we've just come towards the end of the show. Jazakallah khair for coming down, alhamdulillah. It's been a pleasure having you, alhamdulillah. Hope our viewers have benefited, mashallah. Now, for those who would like to know more about Islam, whether just from an academic point of view, not necessarily who want to become Muslims, or if you do want to become Muslims and you want to learn a little bit more, then please get in touch with myself, Mizan, at Green Lane Masjid. You can email me at info@greenlanemasjid.org. Green Lane Masjid. Masjid is MASJID.org. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم